start recording. How are y'all doing, everyone? Stray Fox here. Super quick video this time, and I mean it's actually going to be short this time for once. I am recording, right? Because this is my second time attempted to record this, and apparently it didn't actually start recording the first time I clicked the button, so just making sure. Alright, let's go. Alright, so, just wanted to go over something really quick about a clip that one of his Ultra supporters, one of DSP's Ultra supporters, sent him to react to on today's DSP React channel. Yes, I have heard that he is going to be wage quitting the whole DSP versus the internet thing. I'll get into that more when I do my normal React stream to cover backlog stuff that I have to cover. I'll get more into that later. But I noticed something weird. One of the supporters submitted to him a random Ranma 1/2 clip, and as a huge fan of the anime, I wanted to just go over it really quickly with you guys. Because I thought it was a little weird. I don't really know what the end goal was here. If this was an attempt by an Ultra member supporter to bait DSP into saying something possibly transphobic, it failed on its head because DSP doesn't really know the original source material enough to really understand it, and let alone understand it enough to make some sort of transphobic joke. So if that was like a LARP or a bait, it failed. If it was just a genuine submission to try to get him interested in the anime in general, it was a shitty clip to really get him interested in it, because there are far better scenes in the anime to really try to get someone hooked into that anime than by using this random, weird, not really all that funny clip. So let's just go over it really quick. It's only a minute long. If it plays.
Will move after this. Who knows? But man, that's messed up. Okay.
Feel at peace for the first time ever. It's like waking up from a very long dream.
For those who don't know, Ranma 1/2 is incredibly old. Ranma 1/2 is a super old anime. I used to see VHS cartridges of this, or cassettes, for rental at Blockbuster Video. That's how old Ranma 1/2 is. But I've never seen it. I never actually saw this.
Yeah, I actually remember that too, because the anime started in the late 80s and ran well into the 90s, right? And there was a ton of episodes. I think there's like 180 episodes or something like that. So there is no chance, like if you were trying to collect every single episode or every season, good luck, especially on VHS tape, because you had like maybe 2 or 3 episodes per VHS tape. So, good luck trying to watch the entire fucking anime. And God help you if you wanted, if you wanted to watch the entire because they have, long story arcs inside the anime. Good luck trying to watch the entire arc on the same disc or on the same VHS tape. Because it'd be, 2 or 3 episodes long. And if it, lines up poorly on the VHS tape, you would have to get the next tape in order to get the whole mini story arc that would go throughout.
Series. Face? Wait, what? She called him Octopus Face.
An Oompa Loompa.
An Oompa Loompa? Wait, what? That can't be the real dialogue. No.
Yep, it's the original dub. The English dub.
Wait, an Oompa Loompa? There's the... that's incredibly insulting.
I mean, like I said, I'm pretty sure the English dub had a lot of, for the time, it was more modern references. Not so much that particular one, but just in general, it had a lot of more modern references that kind of make the anime a little bit dated in terms of some of the jokes nowadays. Because, it was the English dub, they took more liberties with the jokes a little bit in the English dub as opposed to the original Japanese dub. But yeah.
How dare you call me an Oompa Loompa?
And Happosite deserves to be called a lot worse than that. So, he's done far worse things than be called that, I guarantee you. So
yeah, there actually is an Oompa Loompa emote from
Stop touching your face.
But what the isn't the whole premise of this anime that the person changes genders, like legit changes genders back and forth. I think
And the last horse wins the race. 2 days late, huh, Phil? You're just remembering that now, huh?
it is. I think that's the whole premise
Yeah,
of the
that's
show.
kind of the plot,
And like,
Phil.
you know, in Japan, they're like, whoa, I can't believe the guy became a girl and the girl becomes a guy again.
I don't know anyone who reacted like that when the show first came out, Phil. I mean, what?
And right? I think that's what it was.
Yeah, they're like, what? Gender bender comedy? Whoa, I'm a retard. Like, no one overreacted like that. What the fuck are you talking about?
So Ranma 1/2, like you're switching back and forth.
Yeah,
between two
that's
genders
why
or
it's
something.
called that.
I think that's
Good.
what the premise is.
You think? Yeah, gee, you think?
When they get in a hot bath, that's when it happens. What the heck? What a
And that's it. That's the whole thing. Like, so I don't really get the point of of submitting this clip in general. It's like, were you trying to bait a transphobic remark? Because if that's the case, he would kind of have that relies on him kind of having to understand the original source material a little bit more than he obviously does, because he doesn't know fucking anything about the anime, as you just saw. Like, he has to rely on his chat to tell him what the actual plot of the anime is, right? And it was cold water turns him into a girl, and hot water turns him back into a boy again, because it was a curse. Because he fell into the spring of the cursed girl, so now he's cursed to turn into a girl whenever he gets wet with cold water. Like, that's the plot. It's goofy as fuck on purpose because it's a comedy. It's a slice of life comedy. It's silly on purpose, and even the premise of the show is silly on purpose. Like, that was kind of the point. I don't know if it was like one of the first main like gender bender anime type things, but it was one of the first main ones, probably like one of the first bigger ones that really got traction. Even here in America, it was still kind of at the time pretty popular. I like you said, there was a lot of VHS tapes and DVDs eventually that came out about it. But yeah, I mean, it's a really good anime. But I mean, that particular scene is not really all that funny. And if you know anything about the show, you're gonna know that's a little weird because Rama doesn't normally act that way. Now, I haven't watched the show in 5+ years, but I still remember why Rama was acting that way. It was because someone double cursed him or put some kind of gag on him or something to erase his memories of him being a boy at all, and made him think that he was always a girl. And if I remember correctly, it was like it made the curse worse to the point where like he couldn't turn back into a boy, and it erased his memories of ever being a boy. So it's like he was thinking he was a girl because he was like basically brainwashed into thinking he was always a girl, and he couldn't go back into being a boy for that episode because of some extra curse on top of the curse. Something silly like that. I don't really exactly remember because it's been a long time since I watched it. But I mean, that's why Rama was acting that way. Because if you actually watch the show, Rama acts like a boy because he still identifies as a boy, even though he has this curse on him, right? So even when he gets transformed into a girl, most of the time, he's still acting like the guy he is, which is in a way like a good way to show people kind of like what gender ideology is, because regardless of how your body looks, you are mentally identifying as how you identify. Rama is always identified as a boy because originally he was a normal guy. So even when he gets splashed with water and turns into a girl, he's still identifying as a guy. That's why that particular scene really isn't going to make a whole lot of sense to show someone who's never seen the anime before, because Rama's acting really weird and funny and different than normal because Rama's under some kind of illusion that he's always been a girl. So he's acting weird, right? So that further goes to show why the hell did this random Ultra member supporter even recommend this clip for DSP to watch? Was it to try to bait him? Because again, he doesn't understand the original source material enough to really understand it, let alone say anything transphobic about it. Unless you're counting the whole really switching genders as opposed to fake switching genders. But again, gender is a bit different than biological sex. So really, this would be Rama switching his biological sex unwillingly from the curse, not his gender identity, because his gender identity remains male throughout the entire show, with this exception. Or was it just a random scene that one of his dents found funny and they submitted to Phil so Phil couldn't react to it? But if that's the case, this scene isn't really all that funny. Like, there are so many funnier scenes from that anime that would do a better job of introducing an outsider to the show and being funny, even independently if the person knows anything about the show or not. Does that make sense? Like, even if you've never seen Ranma 1/2 before, there are a lot of scenes that you could show someone who's never seen Ranma 1/2 before, and it would be easier for them to understand. It would be funnier for them to get, even without knowing any of the characters or the backstory, that you could take out of context of the out of context of the episode, and it would still be funny to the person watching. So it doesn't make sense on both accounts. Why pick that random clip when it's just going to be confusing as hell to an outsider who doesn't know anything about the show? And it fails on its head, even if you're trying to bait someone into saying something transphobic, because again, he doesn't know enough about the show to even make a transphobic joke. So, I mean, that was all I really wanted to talk about. Just found that kind of funny, random, weird, like why someone would submit that clip of all possible funny moments from the show. You're gonna pick that random one? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But that's it for the video. I'll see you for the next stream that I do. Just thought it was a little weird, so I wanted to cover it really quick because I know like a lot of detractors might not know what the anime is, so they might not understand it either. I mean, I don't understand the reasoning why the person submitted this clip for DSP to watch it, but hopefully that gives you a little bit more background into the actual anime and why it doesn't make any sense for someone to show him that particular clip as opposed to a different clip, because it's not really all that funny. The show itself can be really fucking hilarious. It's just that particular scene isn't all that funny. Like what? Octopus Face and Oompa Loompa? I mean, it's not that funny. But Phil laughed pretty hard, so maybe it is really funny to a dent. I don't know. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.